Hi, all of you.
If all of you are able to hear me,
Please tell me. I'm just waiting for everyone to join in. Can you guys hear me? Hi, all of you.
if all of you are able to hear me,
Please tell me. I'm just waiting for everyone to join in. Can you guys hear me? People who are live, I can see Shazad. Yes. Good evening, Shazad. Everyone. So this session is going to be more specific to symbiosis examination. Symbiosis takes a snap examination as what we know. We'll discuss about the preparation plan that you need to keep for next 6 months. Tentative date of symbiosis examination, something that we know, is going to be close to around 18th of December. Let's keep us 18th of December. We'll make a timeline what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. Uh, let's say right from now till let's say November end, because the last 2-3 weeks you possibly will be giving the other examinations of Nasimunji and IAFT also at the same time. So we'll make a plan with respect to uh, the symbiosis examination. So people who are live now, okay, how many of you will be giving symbiosis examination? Please say yes or no. People who are planning to take symbiosis examination, seriously, I'm saying, not the case that you are giving it for the namesake or for the sake of experience. How many of you will be giving symbiosis examination? Please say yes. People who are planning to take symbiosis. So if you guys are genuinely planning for symbiosis, please tell me, because then it's going to be a more relevant session. You will find much of relevance with respect to what actually comes in symbiosis paper. How would you differentiate symbiosis versus cat versus snap, and likewise the other examination. Hi, Hiren. Okay. Okay. How many of you have seen or how many of you have given snap before? Is there anyone who has given snap before? Amazing, Ninad. You're planning for SIB in Pune. It's one of the amazing campus, both in terms of infrastructure, both in other ways, in terms of curriculum, faculty, and no doubt the placements are also superbly awesome. I've seen many people who have been graduating from Symbiosis over the years and who are doing like fantastically good in their career as of now. So it's one of the good career option that you may plan if you're looking forward for Symbiosis as a B school for the year 2021. So people always have a confusion. Everyone have a dilemma. Like I'm sure Akshal, if you have given the mock, please tell me the score also. Ghansham has given in the year 2017. That's quite amazing. Okay. So very many of you will have this dilemma: should I join Nursimunji or should I join Nurse or Symbiosis College? Um, if you look at the overall ranking, or in terms of ROI, in terms of the faculty base, in terms of the career progression that you guys would be up to, you would not be able to rank for what is better and what is not better. Okay. In terms of purely ROI, you will see Symbiosis as a better ROI than the NMIMS, but that's only one factor. You're not looking for the tangible money, right? There's so many intangible things which you will get as a value addition. Your career is not just after 1 year, right? Your career is not just for 1 year after your MBA. It's going to be for next 30 years. Now, if you're discounting the number of years, you should discount the next 30 years, not just 1 year after your completion of an MBA, right? You make the fees payment one time, but you reap on it year on year. Amazing. So Vivek got a score of 60 marks in the last mock. Quite good. So there's still a ray of hope for you to clear Snap with 98 plus percentile. Um, Rachita, what about you? Akshal, Ghansham, Ninad, everyone. Is there anyone who has given a mock? And I also hope that all of you have done some research with respect to the colleges which are there in Symbiosis. Now, in the Symbiosis, a league of college. It's not just one college. The best college in terms of campus or in terms of the overall ranking would be SIB in Pune, followed by the second best campus, which is SCHMRD, which is in Hinjewadi. This is in Lavale, and then SIIB is the third best college which they have got. SIIB and SCHMRD are in same locality, which is Hinjewadi. The other campuses would be no doubt SIOM is also one of the amazing colleges what they have got, which is purely for operation management. So if there's any engineer or let's say non-engineer who's looking forward for making it their career into operation, then I'm sure this is one of the amazing college which you have got in India, specifically for operations. The only sad part is this is you'll miss on the charm of Pune. This college is going to be in Nasik. Okay. They have got other campuses of Bangalore and Hyderabad too, but technically I do not recommend them. Okay, Vivek, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that for you. If you want score versus percentile, let me give you the percentile which is going to be required for SIBM Pune. No doubt the other campuses will also be auto adjusted, but SIBM, SCHMRD, and SIIB are the top three colleges which are there in Symbiosis League, which you should look forward to the upcoming year, which is 2021 admissions. And as you know, the snap pattern has got changed in the recent year. 2019, the pattern got changed. They have scrapped the GK section. Now you've got only three sections which comes up in the examination. If you know the section, technically, you know that there's quant, there's logical reasoning, and there's English, which will come in the paper. Okay, and generalizing this, we know there are 110 questions which will come, and the overall paper is going to be for 150 marks. If you are looking forward for SIBM Pune, one in terms of percentile, I repeat, one in terms of percentile, you need to get a score of 98.7 plus percentile. You need to get a percentile of 98.7 plus for SIBM Pune. But if you, and this is something which has been gradually increased over the years. Till 2018, someone who was on the level of 98.01 also was about to get into SIBM Pune. But last year, the cutoff has been increased because of sheer increase in the number of people who are applying for symbiosis examination. You need to expect 98.7 plus percentile. A raw score, if you ask me how much raw score do you need to keep to clear the symbiosis examination, consider the benchmark score of 90. Okay. If you're getting 90 plus marks, you're good to go. If you're getting 90 plus marks, you are good to go for symbiosis Pune. Okay, now Syed Ali Abidi, if you're asking me that which is a better college for symbiosis in Narasimhanji, so first of all, both are same. At the overall ranking, in terms of discounting all the factors, in terms of placement, in terms of infrastructure, the faculty base, the alumni relations, the corporate exposure, they are same. Generalizing, there's a perception. The perception says symbiosis is more pro and inclined towards marketing program. And let's say if you talk about Narasimhanji is more pro about finance or operation specialization. Yes, so if I have to sub rank them with respect to the courses, with respect to the specialization, if you're looking for marketing, then I'll rate symbiosis over Narasimhanji. If you're looking for finance, I'm going to rate Narasimhanji over symbiosis. If you're looking for operation, then I'm going to rate Narasimhanji over symbiosis. Okay, so it is just not the case that you are looking forward for looking at the overall picture, but you have to take a granular step, which is about decoding the specialization wise ranking about these colleges. Okay, both of them are good. Both are equally good superficially, but the ranking wise depends on the specialization which you'll be planning. Is my voice audible to you, all of you? Is my voice audible to all of you? Yes or no? Is my voice audible to all of you? If there's any echo, please tell me. I'll look into it. If you guys are able to hear me well, you guys are able to see the screen, I'm good to go. Shizad is saying yes. Could you help me out with the response for other people also? If every one of you can just comment yes or no. Is my voice audible to you perfectly? There's a small echo.
I don't think so. It's gonna happen now. Is it clear to you guys now? Is it better now? All of you. Is my voice perfectly audible to all of you? Ninad, Ghansham? Yes or no? All right. I do not know what is the issue today, but I'll try to rectify this. Okay, what is the objective for today's session? The objective for today's session is simple. First, we will decode the segment wise, which is the three sections of quant, logic, and verbal. What differentiates symbiosis? What differentiates symbiosis versus CAT examination? The content that you have to go through, right from quant, verbal, and let's say your logical reasoning. Then at the same time, we'll also discuss about the plan of action for the month of July, August, September, October, November. And then I've also planned to take some of the 2019 snap actual question with all of you, so that you get the clear picture about the kind of question which may come up in the examination. I guess all of you are good to go now. If you want to take a screenshot, you feel free. You can take a screenshot of all the important highlights. If you're sitting with a book and pen, amazing. You have done your homework well then. Okay. Now first decode what's going to be important for your symbiosis and the CAT exam. What's going to be relevant between the comparison of symbiosis versus CAT paper. As we know, CAT is going to be more inclined towards topics like number system, geometry, modern math. Then in algebra, it's going to be also more inclined towards polynomials and inequalities. So numbers, geometry, modern math, polynomials and inequalities will be a set of important chapters for you for the year 2020 CAT. Now, if you ask me to rate, the level of ranking, the level of ease by which you will be able to clear the quant section between CAT, NMAT and SNAP, I'm going to rate the most difficult paper, as we all agree, will be CAT, followed by symbiosis, and the last would be Narasimha, which means the level of Narasimha quant, I repeat, the level of Narasimha quant will be way much more below than what symbiosis. The level of symbiosis quant will be way much more below than what CAT will be up to. But holistically, if you explore the paper pattern of symbiosis examination, they give you everything. So unlike Narasimha in paper, which is more inclined towards arithmetic and algebra, SNAP paper will give you everything. You will have modern math, you will have questions on binomial theorem, you will have questions on algebraic equations, everything. And there's an equal proportion across all the important verticals. As we all agree, that arithmetic will include all the important chapters, right, from percentage, time to distance, time and work, and ratio and proportion. So let me term them. You can take a note of this. You basically have topics of time to distance, time and work, and percentage. Even if you're able to do this much, I can surely say this is more than sufficient to crack all the possible questions what comes in arithmetic. Just 3 chapters. No need to focus on averages as much as possible. Mixture allegation, you can skip it. Time to distance, time and work, and percentage are the important chapters as far as arithmetic is going to be concerned. From algebra, there are 2 important chapters. One is progression. Followed by that, you will also have questions which are basically on inequalities. So progression and inequalities, you will have questions and chapters which are basically from algebra. Among linear equation, quadratic equation, just circle quadratic equation, which is more important. Okay. One question, I mean, it's not relevant that every year they will give you a question on polynomial. One question on polynomial may come up in the paper, but we can skip it. In number system, now with the number system as well, the more you dig, the more water you will get. The number system have so many topics, what to study, what not to study. So you have questions on the last digit concept and the second last digit concept. You have concepts of power cycle, you have concept of divisibility rules, you have concept of remainder theorem, you have concept which is changing the base system. These are the 5 important chapters which are relevant for 5 important concepts which are relevant for number system of SNAP. Rest all theorems, be it Euler's theorem, Chinese remainder theorem, Fermat's theorem, Wilson theorem, you can all skip it. You can all skip it. So number system, I give you what is going to be relevant here. Set theory, you will always expect one question to come up here. Permutation combination is like one question surely every year you will expect to come. Next, surds and indices, I can surely ask you to skip, leave it. Sequence and series is a kind of question which may come up. Now, as we know, quantitative aptitude section is going to be mixed with data interpretation also, but it's a mixture of quantitative aptitude plus data interpretation plus data sufficiency. I'm sure none of you are practicing data sufficiency for your CAT paper, but if you're planning for symbiosis, data sufficiency is also one of the important topic that you will do before you go for the symbiosis paper. So DS is going to be a key thing which you will do for the first time, which is for the non-CAT examination. Let's say for the level of logical reasoning. Now, the level of logical reasoning of symbiosis is exactly same as that what comes in Narasimha examination. On contrary, none of these topics will come in the CAT paper. So I see some people, they segment themselves. Do they belong to the category of CAT or do they belong to the category of symbiosis or Narasimha paper? Okay, because CAT, there are 4 puzzles which will come and each of them will have 4 questions and there are 16 questions overall. That's what it's going to come. But yes, the level of analytical reasoning questions and the critical reasoning questions will come up specifically about symbiosis in Narasimha as we're dealing with symbiosis. let's stick to what symbiosis will be focusing on. All the important chapters of analytical reasoning, questions on critical reasoning, and the most important questions on verbal and of visual reasoning. What is visual reasoning? Visual reasoning is one of the important chapters which comes in CET examination. Unlike the CAT paper, there are questions which are based on diagrams. You have to follow the pattern to decode what's going to come next. Okay. So as you can see here, so the simple things which you have been practicing till now, you will continue doing it. Data relation, coding, decoding, analogies, setting arrangement, direction sense, clocks, and this is really important. One or two questions on clocks and calendar will surely come every year. Syllogism is also a key which will come. You will have important elements of critical reasoning and visual reasoning. So 2 to 3 questions on visual reasoning will surely come. 5 questions on critical reasoning will surely come. So 3 plus 5 will give you 8 odd questions which you have to work on for the SNAP examination, which never comes up in the CAT. Okay. Now, if you ask me what comes in the verbal section, as we know, in CAT, there's no grammar and there's no vocabulary. The kind of question which comes in CAT, will be purely based on reading comprehension, para-jumbled, para-completion, and para-summary. The other 3 elements of verbal ability does not include anything on grammar or vocabulary. Unlike the CAT exam, SNAP exam will be focusing on a lot of many other topics. Now, if I have to highlight what's going to be relevant between CAT and the SNAP examination, so para-jumbled is one of those things which will be consistent. Okay, rest you will do for the first time. Sentence completion, sentence correction, fill in the blanks, analogies, synonyms or antonyms, which is purely vocabulary. There are questions which are based on contextual usage, conversion of active to positive verbs, one word substitution, odd man out. These are the new things which you will do for the first time. Okay. Now, the herd mentality says if you focus on CAT, the other exams can be automatically can be cleared. This doesn't happen in reality. Okay. You need to work hard for the non-essential things which usually comes in the non-CAT examination, primarily avoiding the CAT examination. So the topics which you can see on the screen now are more relevant for symbiosis paper. And if you think you are not doing these parts as of now, in the entire timeline, whatever you are maintaining right from now till the month of December, where you are heavily focusing on exams of CAT, you have to do justice with the other elements also, which is the topics which has been given to you here. Okay. Now, if you ask me, tell me the key differentiating factor between symbiosis and Narasimhanji examination. Let me highlight this as idioms and phrases. Year on year, 2 to 3 questions on idioms and phrases will come every year. There's a holistic list of important idioms and phrases, which are important for you from the symbiosis perspective. If you do not have the list, possibly you will get it as and when the symbiosis workshop will be held. If you do not have it, in the description box, you will see a lot of Google Forms. Please fill in your details so that the team can help you out with a list of important idioms and phrases for the given examination. Okay. But so idioms and phrases are the key important thing which is relevant for symbiosis paper. I hope this part is clear to all of you, right? Without wasting much time, let me highlight the pointers for you, which is the timeline which you need to follow right from the month of July till the month of November. By when you will be able to complete the entire syllabus. I want all of you to complete the entire syllabus in July, August, and September. In the last 2 months, which is October and November, will be dedicated for previous year papers and mock tests, and you'll be good to go. Now, people who are keeping symbiosis as a primary option and not CAT, possibly what they can do in the month of July, the entire focus can be given to the important chapters which I've mentioned here. For verbal, it's sentence completion, analogies, active passive voice, sentence correction, and vocabulary. Vocabulary will have straightforward questions, which is of antonyms and synonyms. In reading comprehension, the genres which you will go through will be based on marketing and economics, science and technology, and environment and politics. On the level of content, what I want you to go through is important chapters of time and work, time still distance, percentage, quadratic equation, numbers, and inequalities. You can see there are 6 chapters which I've mentioned. Now, if you ask me what level of difficulty is this up to, so the best reference which I can give you will be Arvind Sharma, which is considered to be the Bible for the CAT examination. So the level of difficulty 1 is good to go. You will not even touch upon the level of difficulty 2 or 3 for symbiosis or Narasimhaji paper. Level of difficulty 1 is good to go for the symbiosis paper. As far as the DI is going to be concerned, you will have questions which is across tables, pie chart, and line graph, which are consistent. If you ask me to further differentiate between symbiosis and Narasimhaji paper on the level of DI, now symbiosis DI is always easier than Narasimhaji DI. Narasimhaji will always give you the calculation intensive DI. Symbiosis, it's pretty simple. Please don't get worried about what level of DI do you have to practice. Level of difficulty 1 is good to go. On logical reasoning, analytical reasoning sections of blood relation, coding, decoding, analogy, setting arrangement, direction sense, mathematical reasoning, and clocks and calendar is something which you will do. Now, yes, if you are focusing a lot on CAT examination, make sure you make a timeline. I repeat, make sure you make a timeline for the other elements which we have discussed here for the symbiosis examination. You will pick up these topics one by one. You will not write any full-length test in the month of July. You will only and only solve topic level test. Even if you're solving one topic test of each concept, I'm happy. Nothing to worry about. Coming to the month of August. Next month, you will work on important elements of one-word substitution, parajumbled, contextual usage, and odd man out. The level of RC which you will practice now will be slightly more challenging on mythology and philosophy, which one of the 4 RC which may come up in the paper will be of any of these 2 segments. In quant, important elements of permutation, combination, probability, progression, and geometry you will touch upon. In geometry, only do circles and triangles, no need to do anything else. Okay. There's no need in which you can do both. Raj, as I've told you, first you have to differentiate what comes in CAD paper, what comes in symbiosis paper. That's what I'm differentiating. If you have been practicing CAD level questions and the CAD genre of topics, which is number system, geometry, modern math, and quadratic equation along with polynomials, you have to shift towards the elements which are which comes in the symbiosis paper and not in CAD. That's what you're doing now. LR, in the month of August, you will solve questions which are based on syllogism, verbal reasoning, and questions which are in the form of matrix. So the matrix-based question which I showed you last time usually comes in symbiosis paper and Narasimhaji paper both. So the matrix-based question, if you're solving, will serve the purpose of symbiosis and Narasimhaji both examination. Last, in the month of September, you will solve important elements of fill in the blanks, idioms and phrases. You need to get the important list. Please make sure you get the list anyhow. Then the importance of vocabulary is going to be a quick revision which you will do. Okay. On practicing RC, if you're solving one snap actual RC a day, it's going to be sufficient. Nothing to worry about. The only advanced topic which you will do in the month for the quantitative aptitude section will be mensuration, Rego, set theory, and polynomials. As far as Rego is concerned, questions which are based on heights and distance, I repeat, questions which are based on heights and distance will only and only come in the paper. Shri, I'll do that. And DI will be consistent, which you will do. The only element which you will touch upon in the month of September, if you want no clash between CAT and SNAP, is you to focus on critical reasoning in the month of September. So focus on question types of statement argument, statement assumption, statement inference, and course of action, which will be relevant for only and only symbiosis paper. In the month of October, there are 4 weeks, so you would have to plan 4 full-length mock tests. Every week you can plan 1. You need to plan 2 sectional mock tests of each of verbal, logic, and quantitative aptitude section. As far as the paper is going to be concerned, the past papers, you will solve questions which are from 2012, 2013, and 2014. Okay, these 3 papers. In the month of November, it's going to be little chilled. You'll solve only and only 2 snap paper, 2 snap mock test, 1 sectional test each of verbal, quant, and LR. And yes, 2015, 16, and 17 is something which you will look into. By doing this, you're possibly solving almost more than 5 to 6 previous papers of SNAP. And yes, you're also solving 6 FLT, which is full length test, which is way much more sufficient. In the month of November, we'll also look into the aspect of 2018 and 2019 paper. Okay, I have also taken some of the important question types of 2019 paper, which is going to be useful for you to actually understand how do you actually solve these level of questions. Okay. Now, as you can see, all the questions now which we will be doing together will be based on symbiosis pattern. These are all previous year questions of symbiosis paper. What we can do, just like our Narsimuji webinar that has happened last week, what we can do, let's take a 40-second test for each of the question. Each question, whatever you see on the board, I repeat, if all of you are ready, please tell me, then only I'll show you the question and then we'll proceed. Each of the question will take 40 seconds to solve and to get the answer. If you guys are ready, be ready with your book and pen. We'll take 40-second challenge. Each of the question which I'll be taking up of the Symbiosis 2019 paper, we would have to solve them within the given time frame. If you guys are good to go, please give me a heads up. If you guys are good to go, please give me a heads up. Then only I'm going to show you those questions, and only then we'll be solving these questions. So I want equal participation from all of you. If all of you are ready, though you saw the first question, but looking at the question, many of you will possibly not even solve those questions. But everyone is all set. Shall we start with the questions now?
All right, all the questions which we are taking up now are 2019 actual question. Let's begin.
Everyone is all set. Shall we start with the questions now? All right, all the questions which we are taking up now.
All right, then the first question which you can see is basically from algebraic expression. I repeat, the first question which you can see on the screen is basically from algebraic expression. Let's take 40 seconds to solve this question. Let's take 40 seconds to solve the question. The question says, the given expression a minus b the whole cube plus b minus c the whole cube plus c minus a the whole cube can be factorized as which of the following? Can be factorized as which of the following? One of the way of this also for solving this question is going to be useful if you know the concept and the formula. If I can relate a minus b and b minus c and c minus a, if I check the expression which is a minus b plus b minus c plus c minus a, you basically will see all the elements are actually getting cancelled. You will basically see all the elements are usually getting cancelled. So if I term this value as x, if I term this value as b, y, and if I term the last value as z, you will basically see x plus y plus z is equal to 0. You will basically see x plus y plus z is equal to 0. And the values are in the form of x cube plus y cube plus z cube. The values are in the form of x cube plus y cube plus z cube. Is there anyone who knows the formula for a cube plus b cube plus c cube? I hope all of you would agree with this formula. On expansion, this is not required. There's just a conventional way in which we can waste our time. A cube plus b cube plus c cube is nothing but x plus y plus z or a plus b plus c, whatever it is, making sure that it is the same term. In bracket, you have got a square plus b square plus c square minus ab minus bc minus ca plus 3abc. But if you look into this aspect, if x plus y is plus z, I repeat, if x plus y plus z is equal to 0, this whole term will become 0. 0 into this part will become 0. So ideally what people say, if a plus b plus c is equal to 0, then a cube plus b cube plus c cube is nothing but 3 times abc. Or x cube plus y cube plus z cube will become 3xyz, where the values of x is being considered as a minus b, b minus c, and c minus a. This is one of the expression that we can get. This is one of the expression that we can get. But this is not the objective. I repeat, this is not the objective of solving the question. Sometimes the given expression that we have got, I'm sure that we may forget the formula. We may forget the way to solve these binomial expansion questions. The easiest way of solving this question is, if you look at the questions and the options, both of them have variables. So what I can do, I can start putting up the value. So if I use the value of a, b, and c, let's say 5, 3, and 2. If I use the value, let's say any value which you may consider, let me use the value 5, 3, and 2. If I use the value of a, b, and c as 5, 3, and 2, if I start putting the values here, this will become 5 minus 3 the whole cube plus 3 minus 2 the whole cube plus 2 minus 5 the whole cube. The value will become 2 cube. This will become 1 cube, and this will become minus 3 the whole cube. this will become 8, this will become 1, and this will become minus 27. The overall value will become minus 18. The overall value will become minus 18. All what you need to do, start putting up the values here, here, and here. Just see where do you get minus 18. Just see where do you get minus 18 as the final answer. If I put this value in option number B, it says 3 outside, A minus B. So we are looking at the value of 5, 3, and 2. A minus B will give you 2. B minus C will give you 1. And C minus A will give you minus 3. So this becomes 6 into minus 3, which is minus 18. And the value is matching here. And hence, the answer will be the same, which is option number B. So if you want to find the quickest way, the only best way is substitution. The ideal way of solving the question is by using substitution. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Is this clear to all of you? The easiest way of solving these questions are basically substitutions. Start substituting the value and see which option can give you the answer. Just don't take A, B, and C as 1, 1, 1. You'll not be able to find a value. You need to take distinct terms. Is this clear? Is this clear to all of you? If this is clear, shall we take the next question? If you look at the next question, let's again take only 40 seconds to solve this question. Let's again take only 40 seconds to solve this question. The question says, Sonal and Meenal appear for an interview which has 2 vacancies. Sonal and Meenal appear for an interview which has 2 vacancies. The probability of success for Sonal is 1 upon 7. The probability of success of Meenal is 1 upon 5. And the question is, what is the probability that only one of them gets selected? I repeat, what is the probability that only one of them gets selected? Some of the people use the concept of A union B as N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B, which is probability of A getting selected, B getting selected minus both getting selected. But the best way of solving is you want only one of them get selected. So let's say both of them, Sonal and Meenal, went for the interview. The first stage is Sonal got selected and Meenal did not get selected. The probability of Sonal getting selected is 1 upon 7. Meenal getting selected is 1 upon 5. So Meenal getting selected is 1 upon 5. So Meenal not getting selected is 1 minus 1 by 5. 1 minus 1 by 5 will be 4 by 5. Similarly, next case, let's say Meenal getting selected. Meenal getting selected is 1 upon 5 and Sonal not getting selected. Sonal getting selected is 1 upon 7. So not getting selected is 6 upon 7. So multiply this with 6 upon 7. So basically you can see the value which is 4 upon 35 plus 6 upon 35, which is 10 upon 35. 10 upon 35 will be nothing but 2 upon 7, and I can see an option which is 2 upon 7 for the given question. I hope this is clear to all of you. So what I'm doing, I'm saying one is selected, second is not selected, first is not selected, second is selected. There are only 2 ways in which you can do it. Both getting selected, both not getting selected will not come because you want exactly one. You do not want at least one. You want exactly one to get selected. Is the point clear to all of you? Is the point clear to all of you? Yes or no? All right. Let's take the next question then. Let's take up the next question. Let me freeze my screen now. I hope you are able to see the entire question now. The question, this is an equation based question. The question type, if you can categorize, will be an equation based question. The question says, Nisha went to buy 3 types of stationery products. Each of them are basically for rupees 5, 2, and 1. 3 types. Let me term this as first A, B, and C. She purchased all the 3 products in more than one quantity. More than one quantity means the minimum quantity which I can take. The minimum quantity which I can take will be 2. And it says, and gave 20 rupees to the shopkeeper. Since the shopkeeper had no change with him or her, Nisha gave he or she gave Nisha 3 more products, each of rupee 1. He gave Nisha 3 more products, each of rupee 1. Each of rupee 1 ideally means this is equivalent to 3 rupees. 3 rupees has come back to me. Ideally, the same value, which is 5, 2, and 1, should actually now correspond to 17 rupees and not 20 rupees, because equivalent of 3 rupees I have already got. Because equivalent of 3 rupees I have already got. The question is, find the number of products that Nisha took in that transaction. Find the number of products which Nisha took in the transaction. I want 5A plus 2B plus 1C is equal to 17. I repeat, the expression which I want is 5A plus 2B plus 1C is equal to 17. So you have 5A plus 2B plus 1C is equal to 17. The minimum quantity that you can take will be 2 or above 2, right? Or above 2. Akshil got the right answer, I believe. Let's see. More than 2. Okay. So one of the way, let's say if I go with A, and if I take 3 quantities of variety A, if I take 3 quantities of variety A, this will become 15. If this becomes 15, I will be max to max, I'll be able to take 1 and 1. Max to max, I'll be able to take 1 of 1, or let's say 1 of B and 0 of C. But I want each one of them, to be at least 2. I want each of them to be at least 2. The second minimum quantity which I can take for A will be 2. I nullified the option of 3, so the only option left is 2. 2 into 5 will give you 10, so this 10 has been taken care of. Now I have got 10 has gone out, so I have left with 2B plus C is equal to 7. Now if I take 3 units of B, I will be only able to take 1 unit of C, but I will not be able to take 1 unit of C. I need at least 2, which means 3 cannot come on B. The only value which can come on B will be 2. If you multiply with 2, this becomes 4, and 4 plus C is equal to 7, and C becomes 3, which means ideally A, B, and C, the number of units which you have taken is 2, and then the number of units which you have taken for B is also 2, and the number of units which you have taken for C ideally is 3. I hope this part is clear. This will add up to 17. I repeat, this will add up to 17. But if you look at the question, 3 rupees has been given back to you. But in the transaction, how many units have you transacted? You basically will transact 3 units more of C, because equivalent of 1 rupee, 3 units has been come back to you. So the overall number of units which has come into picture is 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus 3 is 6. And 6 plus 3 is 9. All of you are with me? Let's take a question which is quite interesting now. A very silly question which has come in the previous year paper. I repeat, a very silly question which has come in the previous year paper was based on a simple concept of average. Was based on a very simple concept of average. Okay, so please look at the question. This kind of question which you will see now, will not take more than 10 seconds. Will not take more than 10 seconds for you to get the answer out. So if you are done with the reading of this question, we'll take only 10 seconds to solve this question. The question says a batsman was having 32 runs per inning. A batsman was having 32 runs per inning as his average after 15th inning. The average increased by 2 after the 16th inning. The average increased by 2 after the 16th inning. And the question is, what is the overall score in the 16th inning? The question is, what is the overall score in the 16th inning? Right? So consider this part. The 16th inning. So 16th inning se pehle I have played how many innings? I have played 15 innings. I have played 15 innings. The value of 16th inning will have two values. One is the average of the 16th value, 16 innings, and second is the above average value. Why above average value? Because after 16th inning, the overall average has been increased. The overall average has been increased, right? The initial average was 32. The initial average was 32. The average increased by 2, which means the overall average after 16 innings becomes 34. The overall average after 16 innings becomes how much? 34. The question also says, because of the 16th inning, the previous 15 innings, the average increased by 2, which means 2 have been given to some of the innings. But how many some innings were there? There were 15 such innings before the 16th inning. So 15 into 2 is 30. 30 was distributed. 34 has the new average, and the overall value of the 16th inning becomes 64. I hope this concept is clear. The concept says, when would the average increase? The average will increase only if a new value is carrying something more, which I can give it to others. It also says the 16th inning has given 2 runs to the previous 15 innings, which means 15 into 2, 30 has been distributed. 30 has been distributed, and then 34, which is 32 plus 4, was the new average. So 34 plus 30, the overall value will become 64, and 64 is the overall average for the is the overall score or the overall run made in the 16th inning. Is this clear to all of you? Is the concept clear to all of you? If this part is clear, take up the next question. The next question seems to be slightly challenging. The next question seems to be slightly challenging, but if you have a thorough sense of what approximation is, you would be able to solve this question very quickly. You would be able to solve this question very quickly. The question says the value of x is 3 plus 2 root 2. And the overall expression whose value you have to find out is x square plus 1 upon x square. This is the value which you have to find. And the value of x is x plus 2 root 2. I mean, do not generalize in the form of an expression. Just find the approximate value. Just find the approximate value of 3 plus 2 root 2. The value of root 2 we can consider as 1.4. Double of that will become 2.8, and 3 plus 2.8 will become 5.8. Okay. I want you, all of you who are live with me, tell me the value of 58 square. Quickly. Quickly tell me the value of 58 square. I mean, there's this quickest way in which you can solve the question, because the question deals with finding out the value of x square plus 1 upon x square, which is ideally 5.8 the whole square plus 1 upon 5.8 the whole square. What is the value of 58 square? Let me give you a simple way in which you can actually find the square of any value. 58 square has 2 digits, 5 and 8. So in the first line, write down the individual value of 5 square and 8 square. This is 2564. Ashil, you are right, 3364. It's 2564. Put across beneath the last value. Now multiply all the digits which you can see here. 5 8s are 40, 42s is 80. Add 80 here. Add up the whole value. This becomes 4, 6, 3, 3. The value becomes 3364. So the value of 5.8 the whole square, the value of 5.8 the whole square will become 33.64 plus 1 upon 33.64. 33.64. Now look at the value 33.64 plus 1 upon 33.64. This is the value which they are asking you to find. Now 1 upon 33.64 will be a value 1 upon 33 the whole 1 upon 33.6 is a value which is going to be less than 1, which is going to be a value less than 1. So slightly max to max this value will go till 34, and the closest value which you can mark without looking at anything else will be 34 only. I hope this is clear to all of you, right? So the approximate value of 1 upon 33 is 0.03. The approximate value of 1 upon 33 is 0.03. You are adding 0.03 with 33.64. I hope this is clear. The closest value which you can mark is 34, which is option number D. So none of you will generalize the expression, nothing to worry about. You can just approximately find out the value, put it into the same expression for which you need the answer, and then again find the approximate answer. Is this clear to all of you? Yes or no? Is this clear to all of you? Yes or no? If this part is clear, let's take up the next question. So be it cat, be it snap, or be it nmat, wherever you see a right angle triangle, the only and only thing which should strike to you will be Pythagoras triplet. Whenever you see a right angle triangle, the only and only thing which comes should come to your mind would be only Pythagoras triplet. Okay, it's a very silly question. So the first value is 6. If I look at this length, this is 6, which is 3 into 2. If I look at this length, this becomes 4 into 2. So there's a Pythagoras triplet which has 3, 4, and 5. Each of the value has been multiplied by 2. So the next value will become 5 2s are 10. So the next value will become 5 2s are 10. So the overall value is 6, 8, and 10. The overall value is 6, 8, and 10. And the question is about finding the radius of in circle, which is finding the in radius, which is finding the in radius of the circle, which is only about finding the in radius of the circle. Now, if you know, there are various ways in which the area of a triangle can be calculated. One of the way is half base into height. One of the way is half base into height. Second, if you have an equilateral triangle, it should also become root 3 by 4 a square. It should also become root 3 by 4 a square. If you know the if you know the in radius, if you know the in radius of the triangle, then there's also a formula which is called as R into S. The formula is also termed as R into S. If this is area, and this is area, all three of them can be comparable. All three of them are actually comparable. So what I'm going to do is I'm comparing half base height is as same as R into S. What is R? R is the in radius, the value which we have to find. What is S? S is a semi-perimeter. You have got the length of the three sides have to be added and divided by 2 and divided by 2. If you have understood the Heron's formula in your school level, you will be able to relate this. Nothing to worry about. So half base height. So we are dealing with half into 8 into 6 is as same as R, which is the value which we have to find. The value of S, which is a semi-perimeter, is 6 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 2, which is 24 by 2, which is 12. So overall, this is the value which we have to find out. This will become 4. So this becomes 24 is equal to R into 12. What is the value of R? R is simply 2. R is simply 2. What I'm trying to explain you. So the only thing which you need to keep in mind, if there's a formula, if there are multiple formulas to find the same area, all the given formulas can be relatable. All the given formulas can be relatable. There's also a Heron's formula, which is S into S minus A, S minus B into S minus C. So there are a lot of formulas which we have to find out, there are a lot of formulas which we have for finding out the average of a given triangle, and all of them would be equal. I repeat, all of them will be equal. You can relate anything with anything as far as the expression is same. Is this clear to all of you? If this is clear, let's take the next question. And for the next question, I repeat, for the next question, none of you should take more than 15 or 20 seconds. Let me give you 20 seconds of your time to solve the given question which is available now. You have got 20 seconds. You have got 20 seconds to solve this question. The question says, the average of 11 numbers is 10.9. The average of first 6 numbers is 10.5. The average of last 6 numbers is 11.4. Find a middle number. I mean, I'm sure this is one of the silliest questions which you will see, but many of the students have this idea of solving this question. What they do, they understand the sixth term is repeated. The sixth term is repeated. So what they do, on one side they multiply 11 into 10.9. On one side they multiply 11 into 10.9. On the second side they multiply 6 into 10.5 and they add 6 into 11.4. Since the value of the sixth term is double counted, you subtract the value of 11 into 10.9. Just tell me, are you one of those who solve the questions like this? Just tell me, don't solve the question. Just tell me, are you one of those who will solve questions like this? Yes or no? Do you solve this question? This is the total of 11 terms. This is the total of first 6. This is the total of next 6. Overall, there are 12 terms. The sixth term is repeated. So I'm discounting the sixth term by 12 minus 11. Are you one of those who solve questions like this? Just say yes or no. Do you solve questions like this? If the answer is yes, from now onwards you will not solve questions like this. It's a matter of only 10 seconds for us to understand what is the answer. I repeat, it's a matter of 10 seconds for us to understand what is the final answer. The question says there are 11 terms and all 11, the average is how much? It's 10.9. The average of 11 terms is 10.9. Ideally, what I want, all of them, I want all of them to be on 10.9, because if everyone is on 10.9, ideally, if everyone is on 10.9, I repeat, if everyone is on 10.9, the average will be 10.9. I'm not going to use this. Let's take the first 6 terms. The first 6 terms are on 10.5. The next 6 terms, which is starting with the 6th term to the 11th term. So we're dealing with 1 to 6 and 6 to 11. We are dealing with 1 to 6 and 6 to 11. 6 is double counted. This value is 11.4. This value is 11.4. Now let's consider the options. It's a matter of 10 seconds or less than that. Let's consider the middle number. They are considering the middle number. Let's say the middle number here is 6th term, which is 11.5, which is 11.5. Okay. If all the first 6 terms should be on 10.5, and I understand the 6th term is 11.5, can we say the 6th term here is 1 more than average? Can we say the 6th term is 1 more than average? So the other 5 terms, I am repeating, the other 5 terms will ideally be minus 1, which is 1 less than the average. If the 6th term is 1 more than average of first 6, then the other 5 terms will be 1 less than the average. Similarly, I want all of them. This is 11.5. All right, so this value is 11.5 and the other values were on 10.5. The other values were on 10.5. So this is 1 less than the average. What about here? What about here? If you look at this value, the next 5 terms, the next 6 terms ideally is on 11.4. But the 6th term ideally is 11.5. So how much more is this from the average? It is 0.1 more than average. So the other 5 values, cumulatively will be 0.1 less than average. Will be how much? 0.1 less than average. If you look at the gap between the values, just quickly look at the gap between the overall deviation which you have found, and the value 10.9. Look at the value here. This is 10.5. Overall deviation is minus 1. The overall deviation here is 0.1. The overall deviation here is 1.1. Is 1.1. Quickly look into the value. You'll be able to understand what is the final answer. So people who are live, look into the value quickly and tell me what is the final answer.